The time is 8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lal Malavarachi and read by Tilani Piris. The President requests Asian investors to make Sri Lanka a destination for investments. Further consideration of petitions against the Port City Commission Bill will resume tomorrow. Political parties agree not to hold May Day rallies. Government has earned 349 million rupees from expressways in the past 11 days. And on news overseas, Chad's President Idris Deby dies after clashes with rebels. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa requests the Boao Forum for Asia to make Sri Lanka a destination for investments. He made this appeal addressing the Boao Economic Forum for Asia held in Boao in China today through Zoom technology. The President further said that the government's aim is to increase investment opportunities in Sri Lanka to strengthen the national economy. Therefore, he requests the representatives of the Boao Forum to encourage the investors in the Asian region to invest in Sri Lanka. The Supreme Court has concluded further consideration of petitions filed against the Colombo Port City Economic Commission draft bill for the second consecutive day. The petitions are expected to be taken up again at 10 a.m. tomorrow, April 21st, says the Adadharana reporter. The petitions were called before a 5-member bench headed by Chief Justice Jayanta Jasoria. Nearly 20 petitions had been submitted against the draft bill by many parties. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, SLPP, Professor G.L. Piris, SLPP General Secretary Attorney at Law Sagara Karyavasam, and the Legal Association of the SLPP had filed interim petitions to make submissions regarding the petitions. The Minister of Highways, Johnston Fernando, says that the expressways in Sri Lanka have generated revenue of 350 million rupees within 11 days of the recent festive season since the 8th of April. According to the Minister, nearly 1,236,288 vehicles have used the expressways during this period. Further, the majority of these vehicles had used the expressways on April 10th. Minister Fernando said a total of 141,017 vehicles had used the expressways on the said date, grossing an income of nearly 38 million rupees. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
The Epidemiology Unit of the Health Ministry says that another 173 COVID-19 patients have been discharged from hospital after completely recovering from the virus. This brings the total number of coronavirus recoveries in the country to 93,547. According to the Epidemiology Unit, Sri Lanka has so far registered 97,365 cases of COVID-19, as 260 more cases were reported today. 2,938 of them are currently under medical care. The death toll due to the virus is at 620. Intelligence troops of Sri Lanka Army's 54th Division in Mannar has detected 185.575 kilograms of smuggled Kerala cannabis from a beachside scrubland close to the seas at Pallikuda, Punareen. According to the Army, the Kerala cannabis consignment found in 86 packs is worth more than 55.7 million rupees. Initial information received by intelligence troops confirmed that a haul of cannabis would be smuggled from India to Vidalativu Shosi area on fishing boats. However, the smugglers had kept changing their landing locations since security forces in Mannar were on the alert about their clandestine operations, the Army said. The SLPP MP Vijayadasa Rajapaksa's son, Rakita Rajapaksa, who was arrested in connection with the road accident in Rajagiriya, had left 4 persons injured last night, has been granted bail. Colombo Magistrates Court had released him on bail of 100,000 rupees. Police spokesperson DIG Ajit Rohana said. The 32-year-old, who was admitted to a private hospital in Colombo following the accident, was placed under arrest this afternoon. That ends local news for now.
Darling, our daughter has top O-level results. Do you know what this means?
Yes, just 3 years and she'll be going abroad for her degree.
For which we'll need a bank loan.
But is a normal loan the smartest option?
What else?
The smartest way is to start an HDFC Smart Goals account.
Let your child begin their degree with no delays. Start an HDFC Smart Goals account. Call 2356 888.
Honey, you're so smart.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhaloka Vedamahatmya.
Representatives of political parties have agreed not to conduct any May Day rallies or processions following a meeting held today. The Army Commander General Shavendra Silva stated that political party representatives had met at the National Operations Centre for Prevention of COVID-19 outbreak and agreed on this matter. Meanwhile, PHE Union President Upul Rohana said there would be a rise of COVID-19 cases over the coming weeks due to poor behaviour of people during the festive season. That came to you on our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhaloka Vedamahatmya.
And on Watchlight tonight, Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, requested the public to observe 2-minute silence at 8:45 a.m. tomorrow as a mark of respect for the victims of the Easter Sunday bombings. He said that all Catholic churches in the island have been asked to ring bells at 8:45 a.m. and observe 2 minutes of silence. Afterwards, candles or oil lamps be lit in remembrance of the victims of the Easter attacks, followed by religious observances. The Archbishop said that he will be participating in the main service at the St. Anthony's Church in Kochikade, along with several other religious leaders, diplomats and dignitaries. That came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
the best discount in this Urdu season, People's Leasing Polybasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011 206 300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines first. Chad's President Idris Deby dies after clashes with rebels. US to advise against travel to 80% of countries. The UN is to provide food to Venezuela children amid crisis. Chad's President Idris Deby has died of his injuries following clashes with rebels in the north of the country at the weekend, the army has said. The announcement came a day after provisional election results projected he would win a sixth term in office. The government and parliament have been dissolved. A curfew has also been imposed and the borders have been shut. Mr. Deby, 68, spent 3 decades in power and was one of Africa's longest-serving leaders. The US State Department is to advise Americans to avoid 80% of countries worldwide because of the coronavirus pandemic. In a note to the media about its updated travel guidance, it said the pandemic continued to pose unprecedented risks to travelers. The current US Do Not Travel Advisory covers 34 out of 200 countries. COVID-19 has now claimed more than 3 million lives worldwide, more than 500,000 of them in the US. The United Nations World Food Programme, WFP, has reached a deal with the government of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela to provide food to the country's school children. Child malnutrition has been on the rise as Venezuela's once prosperous economy has gone into free fall and health services have collapsed. More than 5.3 million Venezuelans have fled their home country amid the crisis. The WFP aims to reach 185,000 school children by the end of this year. Back to the world news headlines. Chad's President Idris Deby dies after clashes with rebels. US to advise against travel to 80% of countries. The UN is to provide food to Venezuela children amid crisis. That ends World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
the best discount in this Urdu season, People's Leasing Polybasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011 206 300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Moving on with development news, under the Youth-Led Water Management Scheme, the eco-based youth-led development projects launched at the Shakkaria Tank in Karyakantivu, Manmunai West, was completed last Sunday. The main objective of the project is to harvest rainwater and provide drinking water to nearby villagers. The project has been organized by the Turka Youth Club in Karyakantivu and is being funded by Child Fund Sri Lanka, Child Fund New Zealand and Child Fund Korea. The project is being implemented by AU Lanka. That came to you on development news. Moving on with sports news, ICC chief match referee Ranjan Madugalle and ICC elite umpire Kumar Dharmasena will officiate in the two-test series between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. The first test will begin at Pallekele in Kandy tomorrow. That's sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka stocks fell 2.63% on Tuesday, pushed down by LOLC Holdings, Expo Lanka Holdings and Haley's Brokers said. The Colombo benchmark, the All-Share Price Index, fell 198.39 points. Turnover was 3.6 billion rupees, with 25 stocks gaining and 162 falling. That was business news.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Sri Lankan rupee appreciated further against the US dollar yesterday, with the buying rate of the dollar dropping to 187 rupees and 93 cents, according to the central bank's daily exchange rates. The selling rate of the US dollar had reached 191 rupees and 97 cents. This is the first time the selling rate had dropped below the 200 mark since March 15th, 2021. The selling rate of the US dollar had reached the highest figure in the country's history on April 15th, climbing to 204 rupees and 62 cents. Central bank statistics indicated that the rupee had depreciated by 6.8% by April 16th against the US dollar. That came to in economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
And now to conclude the weather report, the Met Department says showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the Sabragamua, Central, Uva, Western, North Central and Southern provinces. Fairly heavy falls above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in these areas. A few showers may occur in the Western and Northwestern provinces and in the Gaul and Mathura districts during the morning. That was the weather report. And now to conclude this news broadcast, here are the main points once again. The President requests Asian investors to make Sri Lanka a destination for investments. Further consideration of petitions against the Port City Commission bill will resume tomorrow. Political parties agree not to hold May Day rallies. Government has earned 349 million rupees from expressways in the past 11 days. And on news overseas, Chad's president, Idris Deby, dies after clashes with rebels. That ends this news broadcast. And now it's back to my very good friend as well as yours, Niranjan Abesundara, this Tuesday evening.